Hello zusammen and welcome to Learn Deutsch Gaming. So today I'll be taking an extended look at my Huawei Ascend Mate 7 smartphone. So without further ado, I'd like to start by talking about what I do not like about the phone. First of all, as I've said in my previous video, I don't like the tiny backfiring speakers. This is inadequate for a phone of this size. And well, Huawei could have built in something that is a bit bigger and better sounding. So I think you're better off pairing the Mate 7 with a pair of decent headphones. Well, the second thing I do not like about it, even though I've heard good things about the fingerprint sensors, I don't like the fingerprint sensors very much. It's not a deal breaker, but I've actually enrolled my left and right index finger and my right thumb, and the only finger that seems to work consistently is my right thumb. And well, a typical scenario would look something like this. So I try to unlock it, nope, it works. So it only works about 50% of the time. I don't know if it's a problem with my fingers or if it's a problem with the phone, but even though it works consistently with my thumb, it's unnatural to unlock your phone like this. So that's a minus point for the Mate 7. Well, a deal breaker for some of you might be the lack of MHL support on the Mate 7. What it means is, you cannot connect it to a HDTV using a micro USB to HDMI cable. Well, I don't use that feature very often, but if you use that feature consistently and you like that, it could be a deal breaker for you. And coming from a HTC M7, I could peek at my notifications by dragging down the tray, but on the Mate 7, it's impossible. The only way I can look at my notifications is to unlock the phone and swipe and to drag the tray down like this. And finally, on the software side, don't be fooled by the lollipop-esque buttons. This is running Android KitKat, and there are no software updates yet for this phone. It's to be running KitKat for a while before Huawei decides to put software upgrade to this phone. But this is a bit curious because as a flagship smartphone, you would expect it to have the latest and the greatest software, but alas, it's not meant to be. So now onto the positives. There are two things that I was a bit worried about before I got the phone. So first of all was its size. Being a 6-inch smartphone, I thought, wow, 6-inch smartphone. I've held iPhone 6 Plus in my hand before, which is a 5.5-inch smartphone, and I've looked on the internet, and this phone, dimensions of this phone is about the same as Galaxy Note 4 or your iPhone 6 Plus, and comparing it to another phone which has a 6-inch screen, the Nexus 6. This phone is in all dimensions slimmer. It's shorter, and it's not as wide as Nexus 6. So I think if you're considering, and it fits in the jeans pocket quite easily, so I didn't have any problems, encounter any problems in my week of having this phone. And the other things I was worried about was its resolution. So it has a 1080p screen packed onto a 6-inch screen. So again, I call back my HTC M7, which also packs a 1080p screen, but on the 4.7-inch screen. What this means is, I thought, nowadays you're pressing the screen so close to your face, and you are wondering, if I could see, if I press my Mate 7 to my face close enough, can I see, the individual pixels, or would words look, not sharp enough? But I'm happy to report that the words and the screen looks sharp and it looks excellent. So I'm not bothered by the lower PPI count. And well, just for comparison, the iPhone with a 5.5 inch screen, also has a 1080p screen. So if it doesn't bother you, well, I don't think it will bother you that much. So on to the performance. I've not noticed any performance issue with this phone. You know, the UI, as I've said before, is fluid, there's no lag, and the call quality is okay. So for all you benchmarking geeks out there, Geekbench puts this phone above the Galaxy S5. But I did notice a bit of stuttering when I was playing S4 8, and let's just say its 3D Mark score is not very flattering for a flagship smartphone. So if you're looking for a 3D gaming powerhouse on the go, you're better off looking somewhere else. Battery life is excellent at between 2 to 2.5 days depending on your usage. And one neat feature is the dual SIM design. Which means that your second SIM card would never get lost again. So who should buy the Huawei Ascend Mate 7? So if you're looking for a phablet but not necessary to play 3D games on the go, and you don't mind not having a brand name smartphone, i.e. is not an Apple, Samsung, LG or Sony, you will find a very good smartphone in the Mate 7. So if you compare that, you're comparing the price, the base model of the Mate 7, which comes with 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage, costs 399 euros off contract. Compare that to iPhone 6 Plus, which costs 719 euros for the base model, which comes with only 16 gigs of storage. So you'll find a very reasonably priced smartphone. So that's all the time I have today, and I thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And I thank you for watching, and auf Wiedersehen.